There is new research talking about exploring virtual romantic relationships. Listen, for all of you that might have met somebody that was very special back, like, say, pandemic 2020, and people that you've met through Facetime, you might have connected through Instagram, you might have connected through Snapchat, might have connected through a dating site, and they're somewhere else around the world. Because we're now so accustomed to meeting people in other parts of the world. I mean, it happens. I've done it. And for whatever reasons. And you can feel a connection with them. So the question is, how much romanticism, how much human connection can you have from someone you've never met in person? So there's a study from Hiroshima University that studies virtual romantic relationships and how a human's romantic needs can be met by virtual relationships. They call it anthropomorphism, but I'm not going to use that word. It's virtual relationships. So this is the question. So they want to go and find out. This is in the British Journal of Social Psychology in August. That most romantic relationship research has been focused on human-to-human social domains. But now this idea of virtual relationships, concentrating on platonic virtual relationships, where there's no sex involved, obviously just there's a admiration, a love, a bond for each other, a man and a woman, man and a man, whatever it might be, a romantic, loving where words of love are expressed. Maybe there's some things where, obviously, if you're getting visual stimulation from your partner on the other side of the computer or the phone, whatever it might be. So they went along and they were trying virtual agents. How the fact that they now have those to replace human labor. And as the agents become more complex, they're being used in different ways. And people's romantic lives are an important social domain where virtual agents have a growing involvement. So there's a need to love and be loved. It's a universal thing for most humans. And it's meant another person, someone to love and love back. But today, virtual agents can now fulfill this need. Is it possible? That's the question they're asking. So they'll talk about video games containing virtual characters, increasingly interactive and responsive. And the games provide millions of people with a chance to pursue, nurture, and enjoy romantic relationships with a virtual person, with a person on the other side of the computer. Growing in popularity. But there's nothing that's saying that there's been any investigations of this. So they want to check, and they did lab studies using romantic video games, examining how virtual relationships predict relationship authenticity, desire for real-world relationships, and mood, as well as real-world interpersonal behavior. So they're going through a lot of different things to try to figure out if virtual relationships really mean anything, if they're as good or they're as effective, and they help give you that love quotient that you're looking for that you can't get if you go out on the street and meet someone. Then they did a second study replicating the results of the first study, larger sample, a different romantic video game. So they said that there's no reliable direct link between virtual relationships and outcomes, but rather how virtual feeds through relationship authenticity, predicting a desire for a real-world relationship with a virtual agent and positive mood. So it feeds through and does give the feeling like you're in a relationship, like you feel like you're with somebody that you are in love with, that's your girlfriend on the other side of the world, wherever she might be, or a boyfriend, whatever that might be. I think there is something to that, but it has to be to a point. It can't be something that really stays out and it's so strong and the bond is so much there. Like there's something to be said if you actually make the attempt to go meet someone in person, because you have to take that extra step. I think you're only going halfway by having this. Plus, it's an easy satisfaction. Like really, you're getting the gratification of a relationship without all the other crap that comes with it, right? You're not getting the arguments. You're not getting, meeting together, doing things with each other, and real physical contact, like real kissing, holding, touching, feeling, fucking. You're not getting any of that. And so that's the thing that you have to realize, that you get something, your mind is stimulated. Your body's not, your heart's not. You might feel your heart feels something for it, but how much can it really be? Because I think it's one thing to me when I've been able to talk to people online, and it's been girls. My thing is that at least it's a stopgap for a lack of physical contact, a lack of physical connection. And that's the part that's here, because we're seeing less physical contact unless you really make the effort to try to create physical contact. And the thing is, you need to put yourself out there like you're like a peacock, Like I always talk about with pickup artists. You just have to look the part. You have to be noticed. You have to be able to be fitting in and sitting in, going along to get along. You can't just be yourself. That's very rare to do that, to be an authentic, real you, especially in South Florida where I'm at. That's a hard thing to go and do out here. So you can't really do that. And that's one of the problems we have. So I don't know what to think about this here, but I just look at it and I'm saying, man, it's a nice thing to have, but I mean, well, I'd like to have it where people would get back to where they would want to feel. That's what it needs to be. They also say that future research could systematically vary the extent to which a romantic interest could elicit a virtual romance. So there might be an important future direction. See, the problem is we're going to get AI, we're going to get robots, we're going to get, virtual influencers. We're going to get a lot of this stuff like, let's say about these like sex dolls. We're going to get that kind of thing coming up soon. And this is that slippery slope we're going to get to where people are going to feel like this is normal and this is good. When there are going to be some people that are going to just stay in house, they're never going to leave. They might leave with their phone, but they're going to continuously talk into their phone into a relationship they have with somebody that's virtual, but it's not much there. You got to have a life outside. So it's good to kind of have this just to satiate and just to kind of gratify to a point. I think it's like porn. It really is. It's something like that where it's like virtual. I mean, it's not pornography because you're not, it's the thing you're not feeling lust. You're feeling love, but it's like, it's still not authentic. It can't be that much unless you're actually making the trips to go see that person and trying to actually connect and see each other. And if you don't have that actual personal physical contact, I don't know if it could work. And that's the part I think about. Otherwise, listen, you think it'll work for you? You want to keep doing it? Then go on, talk to your person virtually and be virtually depraved and debaucherous.